Hi and good evening to Dr. Inam and fellow classmates. This week we will be discussing the Walmart in Africa case study. Our group consists of Anusha, Kate, Kyuyong, me, Maslena, and Nusrat. First, let us start with a brief overview of Walmart's background and history that explain its journey towards becoming the second largest retailer in the world after Amazon. Walmart was founded in 1962 by Samuel Moore Walton in Arkansas, USA. He has worked at J.C. Penney Corporation and ran a franchise of Ben Franklin stores. During these times, he realized a change in buyer behavior among the Americans which might make discount stores the future of retailing, especially in the smaller towns. So to confirm what Americans want, Walton decided to travel across the United States, and he was convinced that Americans wanted a new type of discount store offering more discounts than the traditional discount stores. As a result, Walmart was founded. In the 1970s, Walmart achieved significant growth. Walmart becomes a publicly traded company. It opened its first distribution center and Walmart home office. Then the company expanded its business into other retail formats and also built pharmacies, auto service centers, and jewelry divisions. Walmart became the fastest company to reach $1 billion in 1970s. During 1980s, Walmart entered new states in the US. It also opened its first Sam's Club in Midwest City. Sam's Club is a membership-only retail warehouse club, which Walmart owns and operates. In 1988, David Glass was elected as the CEO. Soon after taking over, Glass started a joint venture with Cullum Companies. It's a Dallas-based supermarket chain called Hypermart USA. Eventually, Glass bought the Cullum Company's stake. Hypermart USA was a discount store with featured branch banks, fast food outlets, and playrooms. Later, it was renamed as Walmart Supercenters. Supercenters are usually located in more populated areas, offering both general merchandise and groceries, while the discount stores tend to be in more rural areas and mostly stick to offering general merchandise. Strong consumer demand in small towns drove the rapid growth of Walmart in the 1980s. As a result, by 1990, Walmart was the nation's number one retailer. As a Walmart supercenter redefines convenience and one-stop shopping, everyday low prices goes international. For the first 5 years, Walmart focused on markets like Mexico, Canada, Argentina, and Brazil because they were close to its home market. It also acquired McLean Company, a grocer and retail distributor, and launched a new retail format called Butts Discount City. In 1992, unfortunately, Walton died, and his eldest son Robson was named as the chairman. Walmart's annual sales crossed the $100 billion mark in 1997. Even as Walmart was enjoying successes, it did face controversies regarding its business practices and labor issues. That's all from me. Now I'll pass to Sim. Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Inam and everyone, guys. My name is Kyuhyun, and from now on, I'd like to speak about strategies in US of Walmart. Walmart followed several unique practices in the United States to emerge as a leader. First, it developed the strategies of selling products at a lower cost. Second, it limited the percentage of merchandise that is sourced from a single supplier to have good bargaining power over it. Walmart was one of the first retailers to use information technology to its advantage. In the early 1980s, it adopted the barcode technology to monitor sales of items and to better manage its inventory. Walmart started using RFID to track its merchandise. Furthermore, Walmart developed the world's largest commercial satellite system to collect and give information to its vendors. Through these practices, Walmart could stock and replenish the latest merchandise in its stores more efficiently. Using the latest technologies also facilitated recruitment of employees with less training to manage store operations. The savings resulting from the use of technology, good logistics, inventory management practices, and lower employee costs were passed on to the consumers in the form of lower prices. This helped Walmart and cemented its leadership position in the US market. Now let's go into Walmart's international journey. Walmart had mixed results in its operation in foreign countries. It operated very successfully in niche markets like Mexico, Canada, and the United Kingdom. In Mexico, Walmart entered the market through the joint venture with a local retailer, Cifra, in 1991. Walmart acquired 51% in Cifra in 1997 and expanded its operations across Mexico under different brands like Walmart, Vips, and Sam's Club. By the end of 2011, it became the biggest employer in Mexico. However, Walmart faced fierce competition from local rivals. Some of Mexico's local retailers formed a purchasing association in 2004 called Synergia to face up to the tremendous purchasing ability of Walmart. In Canada, Walmart has been operating successfully since 1993. However, it was expected to face severe competition in Canada with Target announcing its intention to enter the Canadian market by the spring of 2013. In the United Kingdom, Walmart experienced similar success after the acquisition of Asda Store Limited in 1999. Walmart then emerged as the second largest supermarket chain in the country. However, it experienced some problems in the UK related to labor issues, but it quickly sorted out these issues before they escalated out of control. On the other hand, Walmart experienced its biggest failure in Germany in 1997. It entered Germany by acquiring a few hypermarket stores of local retailers to increase its presence, but it failed to understand the German market right from the beginning and implemented the business model it followed in the United States unchanged. Like in Germany, Walmart failed in South Korea too. It entered the South Korean market in 1998 and implemented its US business model of low prices, but it did not work with South Koreans. This is because the South Korean retail market was highly sophisticated with lavish stores, whereas Walmart stores were more like the warehouse style. Therefore, Walmart failed to localize its operations to suit the needs of the South Korean market, forced it to sell its 16 stores in the country and exit the market in 2006. In contrast, Walmart localized its operation to suit the Japanese due to its shaky start in Japan. It renovated its store to look better and created better consumer awareness about the quality of the products. Later, Walmart expanded to its operation in Japan and acquired 100% stake in its Japanese subsidiary in 2008.
Hello everyone, my name is Kate, and today I would like to tell you about Walmart's African Safari. How it all started, about the reasons why Walmart decided to enter the African market. So first of all, it is important to say that after the 2008 financial crisis, Walmart understood that the domestic market became saturated and there were limited opportunities of growth back in the United States. So at first, Walmart wanted to focus on India and enter the Indian retail market. However, the environment in the Indian retail sector wasn't really welcoming for the foreigners. And as for the Asian countries, the competitiveness level in those countries was really high. That is why Walmart decided to focus its attention on Africa. Although there were certain risks associated with entering the African market, such as, for example, political instability and high poverty rates in many countries, still the continent, with a total population of more than 1.2 billion people, plus the elected governments in such countries as South Africa and Nigeria, which promised relative stability, as well as the mature retail market in South Africa. They seemed really appealing to Walmart. And what is most important is that the management of the corporation thought that Walmart's low cost approach would attract customers from unfavorable socioeconomic backgrounds, and there would be their logical desire to save up. Uh, and the acquisition of the second largest retailer in Africa, Massmart, became the cornerstone of Walmart's expansion in Africa, because it caused both positive and negative responses from the community, especially in South Africa, the major focus of the firm's entry. So, on the one hand, many analysts supported Walmart's entry, since it promised to decrease the unemployment levels, and Walmart itself declared to create more than 15,000 new jobs within the first 3 years of the merger. And Walmart also promised to allocate more than $13 million for the supplier development program, so that the local suppliers would become more competitive than they were already. Um, but on the other hand, many institutions, such as labor unions and some government institutions in South Africa, such as, for example, the Economic Development and Trade and Industry departments in South Africa, they were really concerned about Walmart's entry. They recalled the corporation's anti-unionist policies, as well as the employee discrimination practices, which were notorious, which Walmart was notorious for in many other countries. And the opposition claimed that there would be huge job losses, and the manufacturing sector would also be hit due to the fact that Walmart imports most of its merchandise from cheaper markets like China. And we also can say that the major reason for the opposition was the fact that the manufacturing and agriculture sectors in South Africa were already pretty low, even before Walmart's entry into the market. And at the same time, they were also worried that Walmart would bring the same corporate culture and would fiercely impose it on the locals, just as it did in Germany and South Korea. And it is important to remember that South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria traditionally had a very strong culture of the labor unions, and again, Walmart's anti-unionist policies were not very welcome in those countries.
Thanks, Kate. Hi, I'm Nusrat, and I'm going to talk about the concern of Massmart and Walmart and why they should be worried. The South African labor union and government bodies were understandable, since Walmart had been openly anti-unionist. since the 1970s. They discouraged their workers to join the unions, adhere to open employee policy. To add on, the issue of low wage, poor working condition, employee discrimination, and poor supervision of overseas operation were also known to the public. Walmart's unsuccessful operation in Germany and South Korea were notorious for the corporate culture of the company that were being imposed on the locals, which made Walmart leave the market. However, the terms of the merger should have prevented the unfavorable outcomes of Walmart's activities. The first condition restrained the retailer from cutting any jobs for the 2 years after the merger, and the second condition focus was on the implementation of the previously mentioned supply chain training program. Almost 10 years have passed since Walmart established its presence in Africa. Although so far, according to our team's research, no scandals occurred regarding the initial concerns of the South African community, however, Walmart did not prove to be successful there. Walmart-owned Massmart's share price was underperforming, and it was considerably losing to its main rival, ShopRite. According to consumer reviews, customer service and grocery offering in Walmart store are not satisfactory, and therefore many consumers give their preference to local stores. Moreover, South African customers have become more demanding, and for many, the big box store format is no longer appealing. As for other African countries, Walmart is still struggling with lack of infrastructure. Although it seems like the retailer has repeated its mistake, which caused poor performance in Germany, South Korea, they are still planning to open in 47 countries like Kenya and Zambia, where the economies are expected to grow 3 to 4 times faster than South Africa and where formal retail penetration rate is much more lower. Walmart also appointed a new CEO for Massmart in order to fix the problems they're currently experiencing. The retail giant does not plan to give up yet. However, some experts advise Walmart to focus more on their operation in North and South America, where their model proved to be successful. Now my teammate Anusha is going to talk about the business strategies Walmart should adopt.
Hi everyone, my name is Anusha and I'll be walking you through the third question of this case study. So the first part of that question would be, what are the strategies that Walmart should do to be able to succeed in other countries that it probably would want to go into that has pretty similar economic situations in Africa, such as high poverty levels. So the first strategy is through the understanding of local labor norms. So in Africa, having unions is something that's pretty normal, but to Walmart, that's something rather foreign because it doesn't have the practice of having unions in its home base as well as even the other countries that it operates in. But being able to use that to its advantage would probably be a strength to Walmart because it would show that Walmart does care about its workers' employment conditions, and it's something that it has gotten its reputation tainted in the past. So by doing so, it probably could create good positive brand image for itself and therefore being able to succeed in the local market. The second strategy would be through a merger and acquisition with an existing local company in the country that it chooses to go in. This is simply to be able to have the advantage of having a better understanding of what the local needs and wants are. So this is something that was quite a success for Walmart in Mexico, where it actually went in through a merger and acquisition with a company that had very strong understanding of what the local market needs were, and even its managers on the ground were able to solve issues because they just knew how the local ways of doing things were, right? And the third strategy would be to make major investments in countries that it decides to go into, simply because if you're picking countries that are pretty similar to Africa, infrastructures may not be there. Not all countries in the world have shopping malls and supermarkets, so Walmart should be prepared to put in significant investments to create these infrastructures, to be able to boost its branding, as well as create the awareness that it probably doesn't have in that market, and therefore somewhat having a first mover advantage. So moving to the second part of this presentation is, will the low-cost model that Walmart is pretty proud of be successful in the long run? So my take on it is it can be successful, but only if it's implemented correctly. So the first point that I'd address is to be able to boost local income levels. So in the event, in the case of Africa, in this instance, local wages aren't very high, right? And it wouldn't help Walmart in this instance because Walmart significantly believes that its value proposition of being able to lower prices would drive sales up. And the increase in sales is what contributes to its profits. But if the local people there do not earn enough, how would they be able to have the spending power to be able to recycle that money back to Walmart and therefore contribute to its profits? So as an MNC, what Walmart should probably do is to be able to increase income levels in the country to be able to give people that spending power. And the second point would be to leverage on local manufacturers. So this is something that we saw in the case study where Africa was generally very concerned of Walmart entering in because it was almost very certain that Walmart will ruin local manufacturing through imports from China. So what Walmart could do in order to boost its low-cost model would probably be to leverage on these local manufacturers because A, you're supporting the local community, and B, you just never know, they could also be giving you high quality goods at a low price, which then again supports what Walmart's value proposition is, which is a low cost model. So it would probably also have a competitive advantage against its competitors because as an MNC, it's choosing to support local manufacturers, not forcefully, but through its own means of its way. So that's it for me. Thank you.